Bueno amigos, aquí estamos en Aquatic con mi amigo Cris Capp y él nos va a enseñar cómo cortar unos corales Goniopora en una máquina. So yeah, Chris, so we're here today. We're going to frag some gonies and you're going to show us the best way, your methods, and then what can we do before and after we cut the gonies.
Sounds great, yeah. We like cutting gonies.
Yeah, sounds good. So let's go over to the saw and then we'll get ready.
All right.
So yeah, Chris, let us know what. So for Goniopora, it's better to use a saw.
It's much better to use a saw. Yeah, going through and trying to cut them. Although the skeleton's really porous, you just can't get good even cuts, and so bandsaw is definitely the way to go with gonies.
Okay. So I brought over ORA red goni. And then, I don't know, it's just a green with purple tip goni that I bought.
Yeah, but he's cool.
Yeah.
It almost looks like the Herlock one that we've had.
More turquoise.
Yeah.
And then I brought also just for I bought a AC Dippin' Dots Acro that was way too dense to be able to cut with the pliers.
Yeah, that's another one that if you can run it on the bandsaw, then it works out so much better than any other way. So, one of the things that I've learned is that I don't switch corals between corals. So if I'm doing hammers and then gonies, I'll change the water in the bandsaw.
Okay.
But that being said, with acros, it doesn't really matter. So if it's okay, I'd like to start with the acro.
Okay.
And then we'll go into, once we get the acro done, then I'm going to put some iodine into the bandsaw as well. Mm-hmm. I don't like iodine with acros, even though it's not a very high concentration. I just have had bad luck. So I'm sure lots of people use it. It's just one thing I've had an issue with in the past.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this. Let's just move this around. I know you edit and edit. So let's take the acro. We'll run through that and then we'll get the gonies here in a minute. All right. So there's the Dippin' Dots. Try not to spill all the water. So where would you like to cut it? Do you want it lengthwise or just like sidewise?
Yeah, just sideways right there.
Sideways? Cool. Actually, I bet I could cut it about right here, and then because this is not going to leave it on the rock. So we'll just take it. Since it's so dense, there's no chance of me getting in between any branches, so I'm just going to go for it. This coral is a pretty good acro as far as healing too. So we'll just go nice and easy and smooth. And because of that rock, I'm going to elevate it a little bit. And I think I can get right to that spot. Nice. So that's still stuck on the rock, and then this is a piece that we'll put on another rock and grow it out. So that actually worked out pretty good. Had I gone continue, I would have cut through that rock, and so I wanted to elevate it and go it that way, so worked out pretty well. All right, so now that we got those, we'll get them in some water. And all right, we'll set those aside for right now. And then what I'm going to do is that in my bandsaw, I like to put any kind of iodine. I use the Chem Reef Dip, but there's other brands you can do. And I'll put enough to where it makes it like green tea.
Green tea?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So the water is just barely discolored. Okay. And I'll swirl that around until I get it. It's a little bit higher than I would normally do. I put a little bit more, but I don't think the coral's going to be exposed to it so in such a short time that it'll be great. So I'm going to take this guy out. And Luis, we talked about this just a couple minutes ago, but isn't it cool? Look at how it just grows into a big ball, and look how it's grown all the way down. There's not much light getting to this bottom part, so you have nice healthy tank to be able to grow the tissue all the way down there. Have a little recession is normal, but I'm thinking that we just kind of cut it maybe right about here, and we can go through the whole thing, and then we'll take that top, send it back with you, and then you can put it on a rock and regrow it. How about that?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. So we got our iodine in, and so I'm going to get my orientation. Gonnies, once again, there's so many heads that I'm not going to try and even attempt to go through heads because we just bore through it. So. All right. See how porous it is.
Yeah.
So I'll put these guys over here, and then while I'm deciding on where they're going to go, because I have a fresh incision, then that's when I'm going to put a little iodine. This one I'll definitely make sure it's just green tea.
Okay.
And you can see how it kind of dissolves in and it's clear.
Yeah.
I'll continue on until I get to that. Just slight discoloration.
It's amazing how all the polyps, how many polyps are in such a short mass.
Yeah. And Gonnies.
Because it's like 3 times the size of that little ball that I have.
Yeah. All right, so that's about where I want it. I can see a little discoloration, so we'll set that one aside. And then we have our last but not least.
Or no name.
Our no name. Does remind me of Herlock a little bit, but no, it's, yeah. More turquoise, definitely more turquoise.
Yeah, it's turquoise, yeah.
So same kind of...
I explained it to people like it's like a glitter bomb with no glitter.
Got it. Yeah, a green glitter bomb with no glitter.
Yeah.
So same type of deal, I'll probably hit about right there. And that gives me, since I'm going to make frags out of them, it gives me a little bit of section here, but I can cut it however big or however small you want, Luis.
I think right halfway, I guess.
Okay, yeah. All right, we'll fire it up again.
Going slow, just let the saw cut.
Yeah.
Light pressure and let the saw do the cutting.
Hey, I see your frag plug.
Yeah.
Looks like a putty or something that was originally put in. But yeah, I go pretty slow. And with Gonnies, I don't have to put a whole lot of pressure because it's so porous. The saw blade does all the work. Some other real dense corals, I have to apply quite a bit of pressure. So we have the 2 cuts. That is iodine, not a cut. Looks like a cut though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Same type of deal. We're gonna make sure that we get a good iodine in the water. So you can use potassium salts too. Just have iodine right here. Slight discoloration and I'm good. So then these big pieces you're gonna take back, put on another rock and regrow, which is awesome. And then what I'm going to do on these, and I can do it right now if you want to do it, but we're just going to cut it because we have all these frags going all the way down. So I'm just going to basically cut it in half and then just cut frag, 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 frag all the way around.
Okay. Yeah, let's see.
All right, let's see how this comes out. Once again, frag plug, and then I'm just going to go in and go and make appropriate size frags for what we like to sell here. I'll take that one, I'll take that one. I could get, each half I could get 4 nice, good sized frags on them. And then the other thing is you can't put it on a frag plug, so I'll square off the bottom. So then that goes right on the frag plug.
So do you have to leave, it doesn't matter how much bone you leave on the bottom?
You know, sorry, turn that off and explain that. Gonies are they're, you can kind of see they don't go down into the coral structure very far. There's some like torches that will go way down into the skeleton, so you have to cut them very tall.
Yeah.
But these can go really short. And so I try and get them to where they're appropriately sized. And, you know, the future grow out of these is that it's going to have to encrust where it was cut, and then it's going to have to encrust, and then it wants to encrust on your frag plug. So I want to get it close, as close as I can without degrading into the end of the skeleton, and that's about where I want to do it. That's where I feel comfortable with it. So I'll cut the last two and get them in the iodine. All right.
Now when you're going to grow out?
This one I think I'm going to put it on a disc, and then I'll grow it out. I'll probably put it into the main display because I do like to collect gonies. and this one is a cool color combination, so we'll do a few frags, grow this one out.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, thanks a lot for showing us how to do this. So
yeah,
it's a Griffin bandsaw and iodine, and just, you know, take your time. And
I have the tall one, which is nice. There's a 37-inch and a 42-inch blade, and so this is the XL. If anybody's going to buy one, get the tall one.
Always get the tall one.
Yeah. Always get the tall.
Yeah, I've heard that also. It's you just have more options too, and corals that you can cut.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like this were probably good, but yeah, if you get something on a rock or you're doing some kind of aquascaping even or anything, it's just so short that you can't get anything tall in there. Then you have to chisel and try and get it in there, which adds a little bit extra work.
Yeah, well, thank you, Chris, for showing us. You know,
yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for the cool corals.
Yeah, thanks. Bueno, amigos, ya ven, usar una máquina como esta es la Griffin bandsaw, y es muy fácil cortar corales. Si crecen muchos corales, la neta sí vale la pena, pero sí, si no, tráiganlo a una tienda local en su área, y con mucho gusto, con un cambio de frags, pueden hacer el jale gratis. So, muchas gracias, Chris.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bueno, amigos, esto es una hora después de que haya cortado los corales allá en la tienda con mi amigo Cris Capp de Aquatic Art, aquí en Denver, Colorado. Y como ven, no sé si se puede ver, los cortó así, o sea, la capa más o menos de la bola, que las Gonioporas crecen como una bola. So, ya está saliendo poquito a las pólipas de las dos. Sí, eso es lo que hice. So, a ver, ahora que se abran más, a ver cuánto lugar ocupan en el acuario. Ya después decido dónde los voy a colocar y a ver cuánto duran en crecer, en regresar a crecer del mismo tamaño como estaban antes. Pero sí, ojalá les haya gustado este video, y si tienen preguntas, pónganlos en los comentarios y nos vemos hasta la próxima.